Taking heavy fire.
Who's taking heavy fire? Oh shit!
Yeah.
They've sent in 2 hellhounds. Whoops.
If we send up our squad of missile boys, they'll smash them.
Not across the other side of the bombardment area. They won't. That's the problem.
And our missile boys are still back at the base. Or we could,
yes,
just drop the second dreadnought on top of them.
Also an option.
I favour the dreadnought approach.
The dreadnought has been dropped. The missile boys are also getting ready to drop.
Wait for it. Oh!
There we
can
go.
we watch?
Oh,
can we
you've
watch?
caught back up again.
Can we watch him work? Smashy, smashy.
Or flamey, flamey at least.
Oh, you have to manually
Yeah,
assign
now
attack.
we're talking. Yeah.
There's nothing. Oh, there's very few.
Disassemble that.
There's very few things more fun in the 40k tabletop game than just smashing through vehicles with a giant walker with guns for arms.
Yeah, when you put it that way. I think I will actually leave these missile boys here to like hold this line because clearly these tanks are still coming from somewhere. Is there a base down here, maybe?
Yes, bottom left hand corner of the map is where their tanks are.
That might be wise because and then we can actually focus on pushing across the bridge.
Now expect stiff resistance on the bottom left. I'd leave a couple of squads to hold the bridge against their infantry, and then move our anti-armor stuff, Terminators, and our leaders down to the bottom left, where we can engage what will be, spoiler alert, their super heavy battle tank, the Baneblade.
That sounds like a good move. I'll leave the guys with the librarian there because then they can see further and see infiltrated things coming across.
Very, very prudent.
We are the Emperor's
Back. They on stand ground? They are on stand ground.
the instrument of his will.
It's sometimes useful to leave like the assault units, like the dreadnoughts, on yellow stance, because then they won't engage. They'll just stand there and only engage in close combat if they are assigned to. Whereas close combat units, if he's on yellow, he'll pursue and try and engage on his own.
Yeah, we actually do kind of want that. Right, let's see if we can make it a servitor. Oh no, we're fine.
He's surprisingly resilient, given that he just took like a heavy ordnance round to the.
Oh! Yeah, well he's fine. He's fine. Right. So let's get some of the heavy stuff. Oh, what the fuck's that?
It's a sentinel. It'll be making its way across to where the missile boys are.
Yeah.
We need a much more Space Marine sounding name than just the Missile Boys.
That sounds very orc, doesn't it? Actually, yeah.
The Missile Boys. I can't wait till we fight some orcs. I love orcs.
Yeah, we're getting there. Definitely, we will be. I think this squad with the librarian are a pretty good way to hold this bridge.
Yeah, if they've got some heavy bolters attached to them, they should just be able to like sit there almost indefinitely against guardsmen and do their thing.
Yep. So basically, everyone else as well pulls forward over into this area.
Now, this looks as though we are advancing to the rear of your ship, but Space Marines never retreat. This is a tactical repositioning.
Yeah, it reminds me of... Have you heard the thing about the way they designed Uruk armor in Lord of the Rings?
Yeah, they're never armored on their backs because they will never flee.
I really like that. Oh, here we go. Yep, destroy the second company's mechanized base. Yep, that's exactly what we're doing, but thank you, game. The Bard got there slightly before because he's a massive nerd.
I love that. I'm basically your Mentat. Like, look at the size of the Baneblade tank.
Fuck me! Right, okay, where's my...
Smash it with everything.
Dreadnought, you get right in there. Predator, you focus on that. Where are my hammer boys? The assault terminators, you also focus on that. Fuck me, that's big.
Hang on.
Well, let's dismantle it manually with the Dreadnought. Look at that.
That's just cool. You can't fault this game for looking incredibly cinematic.
Yeah, I was watching like a supercut the other day of all the like unique kill animations you can get.
Oh, because some of them are glorious.
But a lot of them just literally never happen. Like there's specific ones for like if a tomb spider kills like the avatar of Cade and stuff like that. There's a lot of like really specific ones that basically never come up, but also look cool as fuck. So, wow, this thing can take a beating.
It's a super heavy battle tank. So the Baneblade is like one of the real workhorses of the Imperial Guard. This is like when a Lehman Russ won't get it done, you send in this thing.
Yeah.
But now it's gone.
And we lost nearly a Terminator there. Wow.
I think we may
Not Terminator, it's Dreadnought.
Yeah.
I think we're actually alright.
Space Marines are very, very durable.
Yeah,
whereas
I'm enjoying that.
our Imperial Guardsmen are equipped with the humble lasgun, which I now read from page 68 of the Warhammer rulebook. The most lethal weapon wielded by the Astrometer Talon is not a massive missile, nor is it a super heavy battle tank. More enemy kills are accounted for by the standard issue lasgun than any other class of missile or tank. It is steady, reliable, and rugged, the perfect infantry weapon. A lone lasgun might give few enemies pause, but when deployed in billion-strong formations, it has proven capable of defending a galaxy-wide empire for nearly 10,000 years. Basically, it's the AK-47 of
Yeah, I was going to say that sounded like
universe.
that's what they're describing. Yeah, it's also, yeah, like formations of billions is a horrifying concept.
There's
I keep coming back to that line that you read from the initial like thing of like to be alive in this time is to be one among untold billions and live under the most brutal regime imaginable. I was like, fun. This is what that sounds like. Yeah.
Again, in the series that I mentioned earlier on, there's a really popular series of novels called Gaunt Ghosts, which follows a particular Imperial Guard regiment and their harrowing conflicts across the galaxy. And there's one where they've got to make planetfall on an enemy world, and the initial planetfall involves millions of fighting men and hundreds of thousands of fighting vehicles. And there's a point where like they're in this tide of men pushing forward through a wall which is hundreds of feet high, to the point where like the corpses of the dead are just stacked alongside the living because there's just so many guys pushing through this gap. And that's exactly how 40k is intended to feel.
Here's right here. Oh, here we go. There's stuff going on here actually quite a lot. Here's an interesting question then. I don't know the answer to this, but I will look it up when we next have a little break and we can see. What do you think the battle in history that has the most like men on the ground? Do you reckon it's ancient or modern? I don't know the answer, but we'll look it up if I can.
Only maybe I'm biased because I read a book about this a couple of years ago and it was a fascinating conflict. But I reckon it's got to be the Battle of Stalingrad.
Probably, yeah. Stalingrad. If it's a modern battle, it would be Stalingrad, but it might be like Marathon or some of those old ones.
It's kind of interesting that the Imperial Guard are very much modelled after the Russian Red Army in the early years of or kind of the mid 20th century, certainly.
Yeah, I get that. I get that feeling quite strong from them. I mean, the Commissar is a very Russian feeling unit.
It's very specific. Like the notion of a political officer who is there to shoot you if you start to run away is very Red Army.
Yeah.
Which, of course, the Imperial Guard
still shelling me. Fuck. Oh, I guess it's a different.
I think it's the
artillery base is coming from somewhere else.
Correct. The artillery base stuff is optional. It's not too difficult to dislodge them. If we sent in a couple of squads of Terminators and maybe like some anti-armor, we could probably rinse them without too much hassle.
Yeah, I mean, I'm happy. We're in a good place at the moment because now we have no one coming from behind us. We only have to hold the choke point of that bridge, and that's pretty straightforward.
Let us know in the comments, viewership. We haven't done a shout out for a while, but like, what are you enjoying with the series so far? Honestly, tell us, and we will try to adapt as we go forward. So, is it like our discussion of military strategy? Is it that you're enjoying hearing about 40k lore? Is it just the Doctor and I riffing on science fiction and kind of talking about our thoughts? Tell us what you're enjoying most, and we'll try to do more of that in our next video.
Hilariously, as of this recording, the first episode still hasn't aired yet. It airs on Monday.
Oh, I'm very excited. I'm thrilled for that.
Yeah, because of course, you would have seen any of this as well, which is always fascinating. You're in that weird... We haven't coined a name for it yet, but I feel like we should have it. The period which everyone in The Gentleman who doesn't do editing, which is most of them, are between, you record something, and then you don't hear anything for ages, and then suddenly a finished product appears on YouTube.
I do love those days. It's something that 40k at least tries to replicate. Is it tries to make this game, this silly game about genetically enhanced super soldiers and tanks that are powered by dead people and space wizards. It tries to at least make it semi-plausible within the context of the universe, which I admire.
Yeah. Yeah, it doesn't feel dumb. It feels silly, but there's a difference between it feeling silly and feeling dumb.
Like, it makes sense to me that if...
Oh, look. He's still going. It wasn't called Steve. Or I can't remember what he was called.
I'm pretty sure he's brother Steve. Steve was
the
perpetual.
Steve's already dead. Steve's not an assault marine. He's just a regular.
Oh, because
company veteran.
We gave Steve the heavy bolter, didn't we?
Yeah, and he's not among the living anymore. It is a good day to die for the Emperor, or whatever the phrase is.
It is always a good day to die for the Emperor. Shall I look up a cool Space Marine sounding name? Because I'm pretty sure that my Space Marine Codex gives me rules, or gives me a random table to name Space Marines. Let me check about that.
Perfect. Is everyone basically back up to full? Yep. Let's drop these guys in, I think.
Can we call him Brother Danatar?
Sure. I was going to go for something like generically,
No.
Roman sounding, but yeah.
Not all Space Marines are Roman, so we discussed this earlier on, how different chapters have different hiring and recruiting rituals, basically. So the reason we think of Space Marines as being Roman is that the poster boy Space Marine Legion, the Ultramarines, they are from a very futuristic Roman
Yeah, they're
society.
very Latin, yeah. I mean, the whole thing, there's a lot of Latin kicking around in the Space Marines.
Yeah, well, lots of the official names, like the Official, the Astra Militarum, the Crux Terminatus, they're all kind of pig Latin words.
Yeah.
Smash.
Ooh, another Demon Russ.
There'll be.
Ooh, that hit hard.
I'm not sure if that's the Lehman Russ's main battle cannon.
I know no fear. Liberators, the enemy has made it to the northern shore. Redeploy to drive them back.
Absolutely not. Less of that. Where are my assault terminators?
I'm pretty sure.
Oh, that's a regular
I'm pretty sure that
terminator.
there is a strategic point. Oh.
Oh wow, I'm there. Jesus.
They can. So some weapons. This is the nice thing about this game. Again, trying to simulate actual quote unquote in this silly universe battlefield conditions. Your units have a morale. So when they're encircled by that kind of red circle for our viewership's benefit, they're broken. Oh, pull back, brother Danatar! He's getting shot with a missile launcher.
We'll be fine. We're being shelled on the bridge. We can't hold on to it. We've got to move forward.
Into the very teeth of the enemy's guns.
Exactly. And the fact is, well, these heavy bolters won't last long against our fire. Oh god.
It's something that I'm not huge on about the stronghold assaults, is that so often it boils down to, here are 1,000,000 turrets you've got to plough through.
Yeah, I can see that.
But it makes tactical sense for like someone defending a defensible position to just stack turrets in front of the bad stuff.
Yeah, but if it does feel like already we're at the point where like an actual a realistic assault in our stronghold just isn't going to happen really. Like we'd have to really fuck up to be like driven all that far back.
Yeah.
But
it's actually
now it's just slowly pushing forward.
I find it very satisfying just to grind through stuff like this.
Yeah, absolutely. Oh, if I lost the dreadnought, shit.
That's okay. We could always make more.
We
could always make more.
Yeah, once I've taken this point and I'm a bit more stable again, I'll base some more dreadnoughts and then it'll be pushing towards the artillery bases.
Yeah. Our Grey Knights, so the guys with the kind of halberds.
Yeah.
They look. They're depleted, but if we switch them to the yellow stance again, with Thule, we'll run in and start destroying stuff.
Oh yeah, because Thule's a lot better in close up as well.
Right. Just don't let.
Oh, we lost a predator. Fuck.
Yeah, just don't let them outrun their support too much.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's reinforce them. You need to go up and start smashing shit. Assault Terminators. Assault Terminators should probably also be on the yellow stance because they're
definitely.
fighty melee.
In fact, I think Assault Terminators have no ranged weapons, but what they do have are Thunder Hammers.
Weird space hammers, yeah.
A hammer, which, again, 40k does this a lot. There's just weird nonsense science fiction with no explanation as to how the physical science of this would work. But they have Thunder Hammers, which create a molecular field around them that increase the mass of the head of the hammer as it is swung. So like
that's kind of cool.
So it literally strikes with a force of like hundreds of tons at the point of impact. Which is very cool. Completely nonsensical, but very cool. As most of 40k is.
Wow, the main Terminators have lost almost nothing. They are hard to kill.
Very, very durable. I think they do recover health gradually, and they recover more health if we were to build apothecaries.
Yes.
Oh,
yeah.
But we haven't really bothered with that, which is fine.
While the enemies of the
Emperor still draw breath, there can be no peace.
Ah, brilliant.
I quite like Brother Captain Thule. He's fine. He's a bit of a Boy Scout, but he's all right.
purest when it is unquestioning.
Oh,
Oh, it's just our servitors making it across here.
it's okay.
Yes.
Because I'm going to establish a forward base here.
Very intelligent, Doctor. Whilst you're doing that, I'm going to call a brief break while I nip to the bathroom and get another drink.
Good job. Yeah, it feels a bit silly to be like, bringing servitors and because I need to rebuild some of my vehicles and bringing them all back from halfway across the damn map where I can actually just, build a forward base here and basically use this as my standard for everything.
I think we build a base here and just replicate everything. And whilst we're getting about to the not so interesting task of rebuilding a second base, I'm going to, I've got a fun story about the thing that I'm drinking just now. So,
Fascinating.
as regular viewers of the channel will know, I like whiskey. I really like whiskey. And so there was a recent project taking place where various Scottish whiskey distillers were supposed to create special limited edition bottles of whiskey themed to different Game of Thrones houses. So the Lagavulin distillery made the Lannister like whiskey, and like they themed the bottle. It's got a cool picture of a lion on it. I think it was the Talisker distillery did the Greyjoys, and it says, you know, we do not sow on it, and there's lots of limited.
Oh my god, that's almost enough to tempt me back to Talisker. It's like a Talisker bottle with a kraken on it and whatnot. Oh.
Yeah, so I've tried a couple of these.
I do
Some
love
of them
that
are
stuff.
like just novelty whiskies that are a bit shit, and some of them are just legitimately excellent whiskey. But the one that I'm currently drinking is from the Oban Bay Reserve, so it's from the Oban distillery, and it's just a black bottle with no ornamentation at all, with just the words of the Night's Watch oath printed on it. You know,
Wow, that's quite cool.
It's very
Spooky,
cool.
but cool. Yeah.
You know, it's the hear my words and bear witness to my vow. When night gathers, now my watch begins. It's, you know, bear no children, hold no lands. That thing from Game of Thrones. And
Yeah.
I think this is a very cool, noteworthy project, which maybe our viewership. If you're a whiskey connoisseur, look into this because it's genuinely good whiskey, and you get.
I've not heard about that
bottle.
until literally now. Yeah.
I think the bottles are getting harder to get your hands on, but yeah, if you like whiskey viewership, give this a go. We're in that lovely position
I
now.
don't know how easy those things are going to be to get hold of outside of Scotland, but
Well, I mean, more people should live in Scotland. What can I say?
you're right. That's the answer to that problem.
We've got a declining population. We need virile, active Americans to
Well,
come
yeah,
and
you've
live
got
in
that weird
Scotland.
thing of a declining population and a country that's mostly empty. I mean, so it wasn't always empty. That was the English. I'll fully admit to that we did that.
Yeah, the Highland clearances. You know, that act of cultural genocide. That wasn't great. But nevertheless, 'cause
And regular genocide as well.
yeah, and I know that most of your viewership is American. If there's one thing America has proven, by God, it can colonize rugged terrain.
True, very true. Yeah.
So-
Let's build all of this up.
American audience, like if you guys are interested in living in Scotland, please consider that. There's great whiskey, there's lovely views, and we love you guys. So come stay here.
It's like Canada but better. And I love Canada.
I've never actually been to Canada. I would love to go and visit Canada.
Oh, can I only build one orbital relay? Apparently, I can only build one orbital relay. Oh, well.
I think it.
You can use the Chapel Barracks for
I think
for deep
I
striking
think the
cannon.
orbital relay is to stop us putting
Build.
everything into the orbital relay and having no
Yeah.
units in the battlefield and then just beaming them all down via drop pod.
But why couldn't I just do that? Like, if I was that way inclined, why couldn't I just do that with Chapel Barracks?
Oh yeah, we could. Well, let's do that. Well, I think we can only put our Terminators into the chapel barracks.
Oh yeah, you're right there. Yeah, Marines won't go into it.
There was a strategy in the old 40k, like at a previous edition of 40k, where you could put your entire army into drop pods. So on the first turn, your opponent turned up and his army was there, and you had nothing on the table because it was all on a drop pod, waiting to smash down on subsequent turns.
Right, so looking at the map, it seems like this artillery placement is on an island in the swamp.
Yeah, we've got to.
Which we have to approach through some real bullshit.
I think there's a lot of turrets and stuff. We'd have to go either
yeah.
to
I think
the
we can-
left of our immediate position or from
Yeah,
the
and then
southern
down.
for the southern bank.
I don't want to cross the bridge. Is real nonsense territory at the moment.
On the upside, like our Marines are just kind of sitting there, very much holding the line. So I think
Oh yeah, like we're fine here for quite some time, and I actually just want to get some of these Predators back.
brilliant.
Well, a Predator and some Dreadnoughts, I think. And I just didn't want to do that from. I'll have back base and then go have them carry like all the way forward here.
Yeah.
I would much rather build a forward base because this, I think, is where we're going to be moving from for the rest of the encounter.
Yeah, definitely. So
Encounter. I've been
now,
doing too much D&D.
what we might want to do, okay? So when we cross this giant chasm, so if you move the camera to the north a little bit,
Here.
yeah,
Yep.
that channel
yeah.
is that channel.
Oh, that's where the Titan. Yep.
That's where the
Titan gun
fires. So
fires.
what
yeah.
we want to do is to move something
Shit.
absolutely expendable first into that channel, which will be
Trigger
the
Yeah.
Titan cannon.
Oh shit! Sorry, I pulled my ear off, so I can't hear you.
Trigger the Titan cannon, and then we'll see where it goes.
So the viewer will have heard that fine, but I didn't. So because I pulled my bloody headphone out because I'm stupid.
Wonderful. So again, viewers, I think we've mentioned it a few times, but for context, a Titan is like the most powerful war machine in the 40k universe. It's a giant city-sized, like the size of a skyscraper, walker.
I was thinking of you the other day because someone I follow on Twitter did like one of the dumbest things ever. So he's a kind of like he's a writer, and he has written a couple of things for Black Library, mostly Necrons.
Oh,
stuff,
wow, that's cool.
relatively recently. But he did a thread, and it's the most ridiculous thing ever of characters from The Sopranos as Titans, and it's just like photoshopped the faces of each of the main characters from The Sopranos onto various like type classes of Titan, and explains why he thinks each one of those would be that type of class.
Brilliant. I think the best one I've seen was like the face of Thomas the Tank Engine superimposed onto an Imperial Titan.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're basically like part walking cathedral, part walking skyscraper with lots and lots of guns. And one of the Titan's weapons has fallen in this channel, and the Imperial Guard, our opponents, can fire it periodically.
That must be quite a cool mini in real life. I say mini, they're probably actually quite big. But yeah.
You can buy a scale Titan, so like it's something ridiculous, like £2,000, like for this one miniature, but like it is to scale. So imagine this thing is proportional to a Space Marine who is about 9 feet tall. This thing is like 3 or 4 feet tall, as in like in real life.
Jesus.
They advise when you buy it that you don't put it on a conventional gaming table because it might break the table.
Fucking hell. That's horrifying.
I've seen one once at a Games Workshop store, and it's a majestic looking model. It's so detailed and so cool, but it's just crazy that something like that exists to scale. So a regular Space Marine is about 28 millimeters tall, so you can scale up from there to work out how big this Titan is.
Yeah. Here's a question for you then. How much does playing Dawn of War feel like playing Warhammer? Mechanically speaking. And just that, like, looking at it. Am I basically playing digital 40k at this point, or is this very different?
It's different. It captures the feel of the game insofar as, like, the stuff that the Space Marines do and say, and the way the different factions fight feels thematically to me how they fight on the tabletop. But
yeah,
there are no buildings really in 40k.
Yeah.
So like the resource management and the notion of having to construct turrets and having to like advance and then build forward bases, that's not part of 40k.
So this is so Dawn of War 2 is probably more like that, where you just have like a squad of okay, it's a bit less like that, but you have a squad of more like powerfully hero-y types. You can kind of reinforce, but there's no base building and stuff like that. Is that a bit more like actually playing 40k?
I suppose so, but 40k is typically like a kind of platoon-sized game, so minimally you'd have to have like 40 or 50 models to field a decent-sized force. And obviously Dawn of War 2 is much smaller scale than that.
Yeah, true.
It makes it much more characterful, so I wouldn't mind playing Dawn of War 2. Hey, viewership, if you want us to play Dawn of War 2, let us know in the comments.
Look at that. What a professional.
Marketing. So much marketing.
Where are my other vehicles? I swear, like I feel like I'm at my vehicle cap, and I feel like I've only got like
what you can do is
one dreadnought.
I'm sure there's a way that if you click on the dreadnought, you can. There's a command to select all vehicles of the same type.
Yeah. And yet, there's one there. That's at least something. Oh, there's a Hellfire Dreadnought. Oh, I still got one of that. I don't even remember building that.
He might be from the very start. Now just watch the dreadnoughts don't stray into the channel because they'll trigger the cinematic that fires the gun.
We'll be aware of that. And I'm just going to build an absurd number of turrets on this line.
I think there is like a limit.
There's a limit to the number of turrets
we can build.
And that's it. You literally said that just as we hit it. Fascinating.
I have precognitive abilities, Doctor, hence why my strategy is impeccable.
What the fuck is this?
How
did you get past me?
They've destroyed our defenses down there.
Oh, no.
It's okay, we can just beam those Terminators down and then...
That is true. That is very true.
Just smash him.
This should look good.
And they'll just explode into existence.
Nope. Quickly! Faster!
In terms of how well it captures like actual tabletop 40k, like the cinematics, like when these guys are fighting and stuff like that, that's very much how I imagine 40k playing out in my head when I'm playing the tabletop game.
Yeah, it's like the Wizard's Chess version of 40k.
Yeah, to a certain extent.
And then you actually see the units, beating the living shite out of each other. Yeah.
And as much as this is like, I genuinely think it's a well-made RTS game.
Apparently, there is like a kind of there's essentially 40k chess is a game that exists as a video game.
Oh.
Where it's a kind of chess-like thing. I mean, it's a bit more like what's it called or something.
We should play chess together at some point. It's strange to me that we have never played Wizards chess or any kind of chess really, Doctor.
No, true. I have a couple of chessboards around here, but that's not useful. Oh, there's a dreadnought.
And a predator right next to him.
Oh yeah, where? Oh yeah, there. Oh, that should be fine. Oh, there's some nonsense going on here because I swear there's like a forward base there that I was not necessarily aware of.
I think there's a little kind of islet that they can send guys along. I don't usually bother with this.
Yeah.
Because it's more problems than it's worth to try and take it. But it's fun to watch our Terminators smash these guardsmen. So can we zoom in on that?
Oh yeah, we can.
Oh yes. Oh, so much death.
What can men do against such reckless hate? Right, yeah, there's a bit of a
I love that, like,
base here.
they're firing a missile at them, and the Terminators just don't care.
They don't even flinch. It's amazing. Oh, we didn't even finish killing them.
We might want to pull them back just for the sake of like moving our.
Yeah, I'm just gonna hold on a second. There's something on here that I want to take out. So
I think
let's
I
just.
think we have a heavy weapons team there.
Yeah, let's take care of that. Oh, what the?
Oh,
They what?
you can't teleport
What
there
happened there?
apparently.
But they did briefly. Fascinating.
I would
Well, let's
just
just pull
teleport
out,
them
yeah.
back to the other island.
Yeah. I know. I just need to make sure this lot doesn't kind of get me up the proverbial. So let's build another servitor here. I think let's deep strike that dreadnought into where it's useful, which is there.